Good morning and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Taste Challenge. Dawn is arriving, I guess. So is the cold front. Well, I was going to start 10 minutes earlier, but my internet failed. I had to reboot everything. That happens at least once a day, and it never happened until that 5G tower, 400-foot 5G tower started working. Now, is it related? It could be a coincidence. I don't know, but I just know it never happened before that tower. And my screen used to be buzzing all the time after that tower, like it was going to go out, but it just stopped. So I knew it was some kind of signal thing, probably buzzing us, right? Here's Jim Beam. It says established 1795. Well, that's how old the company is. But Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon is from 1938. Okay, it was introduced in 1938, not 1795. Okay, it was named after a guy who, one of the family members, James Beam, who helped rebuild the distillery after a fire. Okay, so it's got to be for Jim Beam. Bim from Germany, Bim. But they Americanized it, Anglicanized it, Englishized it. World's #1 bourbon whiskey. This is the world's #1 bourbon whiskey. Now I got two of these plastic 375s. They were $4.99 a piece at Mathern's. They got a good deal on it, and they passed it on to the consumer. So $9.98 for the bottle. Normal price $14. So I saved $4.02. Okay, so Jim Beam run about $14. Here is Kings County Peated bourbon, aged 2 years. Not very long, is it? And it's peated. They use peated malt from Scotland. And not, it's made mostly from corn. To be a bourbon, it has to be at least 51% corn, but it's treated with peated malt, not whiskey. They don't bring in whiskey. They bring in the malt and they peat it. Here, Kings County Distillery, Brooklyn, New York City, New York. New York City's oldest distillery, open for the last 12 years. And I got to say, on its own merits, I gave it an A. I loved it. It's $65 a bottle. My friend David gave it to me for a Christmas gift. Hey, thumbs up. But here's the problem. It's done terrible in the taste challenges. Gotten beat every time. No joke. Every time it got beat. And it was a blind taste test. I'm not taking sides or playing favorites. I don't do that. Don't need to do it. Don't want to do it. Ain't going to do it. Oh, that's tight. Jim Beam, #1 selling bourbon whiskey in the world. It's mild. It's light. It's a little bland. What do you expect? The flagship isn't going to be exotic in flavor because people are not going to want it. If you're going to be mass produced, you got to be kind of bland because most people in the world like to eat and drink bland food. We may not like that, but that's just the facts. Most people I know use no black pepper on their food and no hot sauce, and the food is very bland. You say, oh, no, not Louisiana. Oh, yes, in Louisiana. Louisiana is becoming very nationalized due to people moving here from other states and just the influence of television and radio and internet. So it could be deceiving to you. Good morning, Ronald. Nice to catch you live. Taste challenge. Thank you, Daryl. All right. Thanks for watching. This is amber. And this is copper. So the 2-year age is darker than the 4-year age. You say, how can that be? But they're probably using a much thicker char on the peated Kings County. And they're probably using a very light char on the Beam. Now I've had Jim Beam, which to me has a strange green wood, like the wood is still green. You know, that's not the case. And cellar mold. You say cellar mold, like black mold in a cellar. Yeah, my grandfather had a bomb shelter in Baton Rouge. It's still there. And it was down inside of a hill. And it was always moldy in there because of dampness and just smells like that. And those rick houses where they aged the bourbon, they cover with black mold too, because somehow the aging whiskey attracts mold. So let's see. I've had Jim Beam Choice, which was charcoal filtered. but they got rid of that in 2017. That was really good. Better than a regular Jim Beam. Green label. I've had Jim Beam Prohibition repeal, which is the next challenge against Kings County Peated. And I've had Beam's 8-Star, which is the blended whiskey, aged 2 years, 80-20 blend ratio. The old bottle I bought was a 75-25, but they cheapened it. B Aviation, good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, B Aviation. Thanks for watching. Okay, so this isn't going to take long because they're not going to taste the same. It's not going to really be a challenge. I'm going to call it a challenge, but it isn't. Okay. Maybe in the nose, but it's kind of got that sweet candy smell like Jim Beam has. Kind of. I'm not sure. It's a taste challenge. Anyway, it's not a smell challenge. Yeah, smell like whiskey, not as strong and not as sweet candy. So on the nose, I'm not sure. Have to close my eyes because if I glance and see the darker one, I'm gonna know what it is. So price, Jim Beam, $14. Kings County, $65. Beam wins. Appearance, Kings County deep, rich copper. Beam, pale, amber. Kings County wins the appearance. Well, that's a stupid thing to say, really, because some people might prefer a lighter appearance. So forget that. On aroma, tie. Taste time. Charred oak, candy corn, candied fruit cake fruit. You know, like you get in those Mylar bags, the fruit cake fruit. Really, it just tastes ordinary, which I don't mean it tastes bad, because ordinary brandy, ordinary brandy, I heard that. Ordinary bourbon just tastes good. You know, ordinary bourbon is very good, excellent, and all. You can get so cheap. You can get bourbon so cheap, and they're still good. So, in my opinion, you might disagree. Okay, let's go over here. All right. You think 90 proof to 80 proof, it should make a difference. And it is. This is the Kings County. There is a little peat, but I'm gonna tell you right now. It's not profound, but I am getting into when I breathe out. So it is. I don't know why you would want a bourbon that tastes like blended scotch. But in case you want a bourbon that tastes like blended scotch, you can buy Kings County and you'll get the same sort of experience as you get from a blended scotch. And I don't know why you want to pay $65 for that, but go ahead. You know how it is. There's too many brands chasing too few customers, so they're always trying to come up with some new thing. Canadian whiskey aged in cognac barrels, cognac aged in bourbon barrels, bourbon aged in, you know, treated with peated malt, and it all kaleidoscope, so many fantastic colors. You know, so it's a game. Now you might say it ain't hurting you. Who cares if they got all these different Scotch Asian tequila barrels and this one Asian port? I didn't say it was hurting me. I didn't even say it bothered me. In fact, I don't even see a problem with it. I like it. It's fine. It's great. Havana's great. So I'm just saying that's the reason behind it. You see, because they got to differentiate themselves, and everybody's chasing after this new thrill. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't really find it that thrilling honestly. But I mean, it's fine, you know, like the Dewar's aged in the mezcal barrels. Some of it was aged in mezcal barrels. Mighty fine product. I wouldn't have bought it, but it was given to me in for Christmas, and I like it. I wouldn't have bought it. I don't really buy those kind of wanky, cranky, you know, thingy things. Heck, I'm still trying to get to the regular stuff. You dig? Um, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get through all the regular brandy, all the regular rum, all the regular tequila, all the regular well, there's not any really regular mezcal. I guess Monte Alban perhaps, but you know what I'm saying. No, forget mezcal. All the regular rye whiskey, all the regular bourbon whiskey, all the regular Canadian whiskey, all the regular single malt whiskey, all the regular blended Scotch whiskey. So those are going to take so long that I don't really have time for the specialties. Okay. Once again, I'm not against the specialties. It's a matter of time usage, utilization. I bought the Dimple Pinch from Hague Club. Why? Because I wanted to try it. I kept hearing about it. And Walmart, for some inexplicable reason, had it for $25, where everybody else, the cheapest they have it is $38. So common sense. I bought it. My friend David said, you best to buy it for me. So I bought it for him. He drank almost all of it. I said, look at you. He said, that's an old man Scotch. He said, but I love it. It's good. Age 15 years. I said, yeah. So that's just regular old Scotch. Dimple Pinch with that triangle bottle. I've never tried it in my life. Okay. And then I got the VAT 69 and the famous grouse and the black and the white and all of these other there's so many just regular ones I can't even deal. That's got to be Jim Beam. Thank you. It is. Ha ha ha. Now. I'm going to answer comments. Don't worry, you all. Question. Is the Kings County Peated bourbon better than the 4-year age Jim Beam? This is only 2-year age. Let's see. Well, I prefer Scotch over bourbon anyhow. Anyhow. And I like that peated thing on the exhale. It's got a richer flavor. It's 90 proof. It better be better. It's 65. So if you don't count price, it's better. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's better. It's clearly better. It's a better product, even though it's younger by 2 years. Now, is it $51 better? $51. Well, you could buy a lot with $51. I can buy a whole case of Canadian whiskey at a local liquor store for $50 plus tax. I'm not kidding around. Now, do I need 12 full-size bottles of James Fox Canadian blended whiskey introduced in 1975? I don't think I do. But for $4.17 a bottle, you could get very creative. You could be very creative. Now, my friend David was like, let's split it. It's only $25 a person plus tax. So you figure $27.50 a person. Or close to 28. I said, well, still, I told him, but still, I don't need it. What am I going to do with it? I got a bottle already. I bought for $4.99. I thought I got the greatest deal in the world. He said, well, we could give it to people as a gift. I said, but who would want it? You know how people are. You give them a gift, they never drink it. I gave somebody 2 big 8% seltzers, because they told me she likes seltzers. 2 big cans. Smirnoff. You think I ever heard back from her about how it tasted? Nope. I asked her one time. She said, I didn't get to it yet. You give people stuff, they do not appreciate it. I don't mean everybody, but I mean a lot of people. And I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired of giving people expensive beer or a cheap beer or any kind of beer. And I ask them a month later, how'd you like that beer? Oh, I didn't try it yet. No, forget it. I'm not doing it. So, no, I'm not going to get the James Fox. But if you're looking to buy whiskey cheap, there is your deal. There's your deal. The greatest deal in the history of the world, perhaps. Okay, what percentage do you think of whiskeys have caramel color added? It says B Aviation. You talking about whiskey all around for the whole world? Probably a high percentage, 80% or higher, I guess. Caramel, they'll say they add it for consistency and color. That's probably true. Does caramel hurt you? Think about it. Why would sugar browned in a pan hurt you? You say, well, they did an experiment. They injected lab rats with massive doses of it over a year, and they got sick. I believe that. Good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, BC's Beer Reviews or BC's Beer Reviews. Regardless of if it's in a bottle or a can, he's going to review it. But enough of this jibber jabber. Let's continue on. We missed you last night, BC, but he might have joined Wildcard Wednesday. I don't know. I got to see who joined. Nobody else. But Jean-Pierre joined Mine's is Aunt Joyce, fire. Okay. How's the channel mascot Orangey doing? She was doing fine an hour ago. I don't know what she's doing right now. She was crying to come in at 1:30. I said, you're crying kind of late because I'm getting up at 2:45 because I want to check all the basketball scores and everything, watch the highlights. But she got in there and laid there for an hour. She was happy. And then she came sit in this office behind me on the carpet for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Just was sitting there. I noticed almost all her water was gone. I said, did you drink all this water, or did your little striped gray friend drink the water? Because usually I notice she doesn't like to drink the faucet water. She'll go next door and drink out that bird bath. But who knows? She might have drank it. He might have not come around, but I don't know. Have I ever tried some of the Japanese whiskeys? Yes. I've tried Suntory Tokai. Lovely product. Tried the Hibiki Harmony. Oh, man, was that good. Oh, yeah. Are they just trying to get rid of the James Fox, or is that the normal retail price? It's definitely not the normal retail price. The normal price usually is about $10 a bottle. Hey, look, I don't know what the story is, because, could have been some situation like the distributor bought a bunch of it to ship to some store and it went out of business. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they know they're not going to get their money, or they're not going to be able to sell it. So they might have told this warehouse in New Orleans, wine warehouse in New Orleans, Elio's retail though, hey, you want all this stuff? Because they always doing that. This unloading beer that's like short dated, expires in a week, and they'll have it for half the price, half the normal price. Of course, a whiskey, you don't have to worry about it expiring. So they might have said, you want to take this load off of our back? And they say, yeah. Now, has anyone bought it? I don't know if anybody's buying it. They're selling singles also, $4.16 for a single. But there's your deal. Next thing you know, Orangey will be sitting in your lap during taste challenges. Haha. Well, maybe. She doesn't seem to like that close contact, though. She likes to lay near me and me pet her a little bit, not too much. And then, but not to be bothered too much. Remember, she was a wild cat, a feral cat. And it took months for her to just calm down, to not try to scratch me, bite me, hiss, run away. But you could tell she wanted to be around, because when I would come around, she'd be looking for me, even as wild as she was. And of course, I took over the feeding from the old lady who passed away. So I said to myself, just give her time and she'll start. And then she slowly got close to the rocking chair and would rub her head on my leg, very tentatively, scary like. But she never was around people before. I don't know why her tail got cut off. Who knows what happened? These cats get all these misadventures, and I noticed one day she didn't have a tail, just a nub. This was before she started really coming around much. She would kind of hide under the house a lot around here because it's quiet over here. And I said, "What happened to this cat?" But it didn't seem to hurt her. You know what I mean? Like it healed up, and she just like, oh well. But they get into these misadventures and they get killed a lot. If they go out to the highway back there, Highway 44, they get run over. She doesn't seem to be too interested in roads, so she kind of stays in the grass, so that's good. But I know she came from that house that's by the highway, where they always got cats, kittens, and they don't keep them spayed. They just have kittens, and then they all get killed on the highway. But anyway, because those cars be flying down, going 40, 45 miles an hour, and I mean it's a 2-lane road. It's the old US 61 from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, but that was just a temporary 61 until they built the new one that I'm looking at right there, seeing the car lights pass on. That was open in 1940. They finally finished it, and that goes from New Orleans to Minnesota. And in Canada, it's called the Kings Highway 61. But this one over here is the old one, Jefferson Highway. It was really before 61. It was called Jefferson Highway, named after Thomas Jefferson. Back when they had named highways, they used to have all the national highways named. Jefferson Highway, Old Spanish Trail, Red Ball Highway, Old National Trails Highway, the Great River Road National Scenic Highway. But then they realized this is too complicated, and they had all their little signs like JH was Jefferson Highway. It was a blue stripe, then white, and then blue, and then the JA was in blue on the white. But it was like confusing, So they said, nah, we need a better system than all these names. Dixie Highway, that was another one. Dixie Highway, Southwest Highway. So they said, let's number. So that all the states got together in 1925, and they decided to make a numbering system, which is what they do now. North and south roads are odd number, and east and west are even number. So that makes it easy to keep track of where you are. And if you start at the top of the United States, it's the lowest number, and at the bottom is the highest, right? So if you're in the middle, like Maryland, then you're at Highway 40 or 50. See, if you're at the bottom, you're at 90. If you're at the top, you're at 10. And on California coast, you got 101. That's the last one, 101. And on the east, you got 1. So 1 to 101. See, in the middle makes sense, right? We are at 51. I'm right in the middle. So 51 runs dead to the middle, 51, because we live right dead in the middle. The James Fox might have fallen off a truck, as Tony Soprano said. It's funny that you say that, because some of these liquor stores around here I call them shady in a way. They're just suspicious to me. I'm not law enforcement, so it's not my issue, but they will have liquor price specials that are unusually cheap, like way cheaper than you would ever see, like Total Wine, Walmart, and other stores will have it for $48, but they'll have it for $9.99. So figure that out. $48, but they have it for $9.99. Like you said, might have fallen off a truck. Interstate 94 in Michigan goes north or south for probably 75 miles here. It's kind of weird. Yeah, but they don't go by that. Like if it takes a jog south, but they look at where's the ultimate direction. Just like right here, 61 is going east-west, but that's just because of the river. So then the river kind of does it. And then when the river starts heading north, it turns north and heads and follows the Mississippi River the whole way. 61 follows, it crosses back and forth over the Mississippi River the whole way. Whole way. Now, 94, that's an interstate highway. That's the new system they started in the 1950s. And so they had to go opposite. You understand? They didn't want Interstate 10 next to US Highway 10 because then that really confused people. So they reversed it. So with the interstates, at the bottom, it starts low, and at the top, it's high. That's why you got 10 at the bottom of the United States. At the top, you got 90. Runs from Boston to Seattle. 94 is not as long. Anything that doesn't end in a 0 or a 5, see the odd numbers is 5. California's Interstate 5 that hugs the Pacific Ocean. You know what I'm saying? It's on the West Coast, Interstate 5. In New Jersey and Florida, it's 95. So it goes that way. If it's a 5, it's top to bottom. Top to bottom. 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75. And we're at 55. See right here, we're at 55. We're in the middle. So we got 51 and 55 running together. US Highway 51, the old highway, and 55, the interstate, and they run like that. All right. So yes, I've been on 94. It runs right there through Minneapolis, does it not? You get off, there's right there where the old Metrodome used to be. The Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome. All right, I went there twice. I went to see the Minnesota Twins twice there. And they were talking about, we got to get rid of this dome. It's terrible. And I was sitting there thinking, doesn't look terrible to me. Seems nice. You're going to spend all these millions of dollars and then get rid. But that's what governments love to do. You know, spend all kind of money that you gave them and then build something new. Tear it down, build it new. At least the Superdome has been open almost 50 years. Louisiana Superdome. All these other places, the Silver Dome, the King Dome in Seattle. What a waste, building all this stuff and then tearing it down. Rogers Center or Sky Dome in Toronto, at least they're still using that. All right, enough ranting and raving about domes. Dome stadiums. I've been to a lot of them. I actually have, to come to think of it. All right, so yeah, Kings County wins, but I don't know. I don't think I'd be paying $65 for it, but I'm gonna let you decide if you want to pay that kind of money. I don't think I'd be too keen to do it, tell you the truth. But tomorrow we got Jim Beam prohibition repeal, 86 proof, non-chill filtered, age 4 years. You know what that really is? It's the old Jim Beam before they watered it down. All right, just like the Jack Daniel's specialty, that's 86 proof, and there's one that's 90. Those are the old Jack Daniels before they watered them down. All right, thanks for watching this video production. Do I think retractable roof stadiums should be more common? Not necessarily. They're very expensive. But no, because then they hardly ever open the roof. It's like in Houston, Texas. They got a retractable roof and it stays closed all year because they'll say it's too cold, it's too hot. They open it like 20 games a year. So what was the point of building a retractable roof? Same thing in Arlington, Texas. We can open it to the beautiful fresh air, but they never do it because it's always hot. So then they criticize Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida for the unretractable roof. The Tropicana Field, which is just a cloth roof. It's cloth, believe it or not. And it's always closed. Go to St. Petersburg in the summer and you'll understand why they never would want to open it. I personally don't like them unless you're in a hot place like Houston. Yeah, see Houston. Yeah, New Orleans. They used to have an open air stadium for the Saints. And I know people said it was so miserable sitting out there. Oh, they said, oh no, it was terrible. Thanks for watching this video.